Hello and welcome to Matt Happens. That's right, it's Matt Month on That Happens. We've gone through and we're interviewing Matts from across the spectrum. We got, we've already talked to Matt LeBlanc. You might know him as Joey from Friends, I think. I know them. I'd never watched Friends. I know the name Matt LeBlanc. We got Matt Walsh, the famous, one of the founders of UCB. We also got Matt Walsh, the famous transphobic right-wing, whatever the hell. I think there's another Sunday this month. And so there's another Matt. Oh yeah, we got Matt Black, The Color. It's non-reflective. And to cap it all off, we have the Rosetta Stone of all things Matt. We've got the one, the only, you know him from his podcast, Get Played. You know him from his podcast, What's With These Homies Talking About Weezer. Maybe you've heard him on Candy Dinner. Or,
oh, wow.
I don't know. I just look stuff up. Or, more likely, I've heard him. I've loved him. I've laughed to him on Comedy Bang Bang as his various characters whose names escape me, but one of them is a store owner that's related to Jeff Bezos, if I recall. Matt, right. I should have asked you this before. I think I know how to pronounce your name. Matt Apodaca is here. Is that correct?
You got it. Apodaca is perfect. You did a great job.
Apodaca. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I was going to ask you that.
I almost was going to say it because I just was I know people have a hard time with it sometimes, and it's like perfectly okay. It's a lot of vowels, that can make different sounds in a row. And I was sort of like, I think he needs help with this one. But not as a judgment, just as it's like, oh no, I didn't tell him. This is how you say it.
And then
but you did a good job.
Thank you so much. And I hear you on podcasts, and I hear your name invoked all the time, and it's like I should know this. Yeah, people are invoking it, right? Left.
These people are saying it constantly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good to know.
Yeah, but how you doing? It's the end of the month. This spookiest of months, October.
Yeah.
What's up?
You know what? I would say I'm doing good. I'm going to say I'm doing baseline good. Everything's great.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't felt, and this is. I don't even know if I'm confident in saying this. I haven't felt the spirit of Halloween this year as I have as much as I've had in other years. Maybe it's because it's on a Monday and I'm being in a Garfield. But I guess I have watched some scary movies as part of the season, right? As you do. But you can watch scary movies anytime. But I guess it had an uptick in the last couple of weeks. And I did go to Halloween Horror Nights, which I do like to go to.
Nice.
But that's my only Halloween activity. I didn't go to a Halloween party this year.
And no plans to do that?
No, as of now,
okay,
absolutely not. Not on my dance card, unfortunately. Won't be going. I wore a costume to work the other day. That was kind of fun. But
that is fun.
That was it.
I don't think I've ever worn a costume to work like that. I wanted to circle back at something mysterious you said. You said that you were kind of being a Garfield in reference to Mondays. And what is that? Does Garfield have any connection to Mondays?
Oh, just to clear that up for those of you that aren't acutely familiar with the lore of Garfield. Garfield is an orange cat, first of all. Let's get that out of the way.
Right, okay, yes.
He's orange. That has nothing to do with the content of his character or his thoughts about certain days of the week, but he is an orange cat, and it needs to be said.
Sure.
This guy hates Mondays. And I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. I'm just going to put this out there right now. How could he hate them? He doesn't abide by the Gregorian calendar. He doesn't have a job. He hates them, and that's just it.
That's a lot of lore we've learned about Garfield. He's orange, hates Mondays. Yes. He doesn't abide by the Gregorian calendar.
He doesn't abide by it. He loves lasagna, and he must have at least a rudimentary understanding of international shipping, as he's always shipping his nemesis Odie to Abu Dhabi.
Right, he probably has like an account set up at
they know him over there. Maybe he's got stamps.com.
Yeah, and they love him. They're like, man, this guy is always. Do you know how much money we're making? And we don't even send the package half the time, because it's a live animal. Let's be real, we can't do that. But he's a cat. He doesn't know. He couldn't
know that you didn't fulfill your end of the bargain over there.
Yeah. So would you say you're a Halloween head? Do you like Halloween?
I do like it. There's a lot to like there, right? Like watching scary movies, fun. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody likes to be scared.
Right.
I'm sort of, and get this. I sometimes think it's a little fun to be scared.
What?
I know. I sort of like invented this.
Okay.
That's kind of like why. That's why I would go to like a Halloween Horror Nights over at Universal, because that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
people running around, sort of like lightly, not chasing you, because you know you're not running.
Right.
They sort of like pop out and give you a little scare. You go through a scary maze. That's like kind of fun. Watching a scary movie is fun. I like candy. Big candy guy.
Sure. Even for dinner, I've heard.
Yeah, especially that old podcast. Me and Ify Wadiwe used to do a podcast together. I've known each other. I've known him since I was like 14 years old or something.
Wow.
I met him in high school, and I guess I might have been 15. I was like, now that I get older, I like forget how old I was at certain times. You know what I mean?
Right. You know, Kevin will edit this out. Kevin, you're not going to hear from him very much this episode, and not just because, you know, usually when I interview a guest, like Kevin just doesn't say much of anything at all.
Sure.
Which is fine. He doesn't have to. But when I don't have a guest, he does talk. But that's not why. It's not because we have a guest. It's actually because he has become trapped in the internet. So he's actually in the wires.
Oh, yeah, that can happen. That's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough.
It's not good, but you know, we'll get him out before he gets like, you know, deleted by Norton antivirus or who knows what.
Oh God, we have to make sure that the Norton antivirus doesn't do its job.
It's actually pretty ironic because Norton antivirus has long been the nemesis of Kevin, but never quite like this. So it's quite the reversal.
Yeah, he's having a real Tron moment right now.
He really is. Master computer, etc. Jeff Bridges, the rest. The rest. Oh man, you know what? I forgot to put on my pirate hat because it's Halloween. I wanted to.
Is that your costume?
This was my costume. I got it at. So you've been to Hollywood Horror Nights, but I went to something even better. Maybe a thing you might have seen on some billboards before. A little thing known as Shacktoberfest.
Oh.
5,000 years of tradition?
yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm familiar.
That's so much tradition.
But I missed what you went to. You went to
Shacktoberfest.
Shacktoberfest.
Have you heard about this?
What was this? What is this?
It's like Hollywood Horror Nights, but instead of if it were at a theme park that already existed, it was just in like what amounts to a parking lot.
Sure. Okay. I was guessing it was, you know, you have to pave paradise to put up a parking lot, but in this case, they paved a parking lot and put up paradise.
Yeah, it was paradise. You know, I talked about it a couple episodes ago, but you go through this large inflatable shack. Inflatable, I don't know what you call it. It's large enough to be like a bounce house, but you just kind of walk through it, and I don't know what the deal is, but Shaq just kind of put money or sponsored it. Is that your cat? Do you have a cat?
I have 2 cats, and I don't know what he wants.
Oh my God,
but
that's okay.
He's doing something. He's like, he knows that I'm talking.
Yeah, and he wants.
And I haven't been home. I like just got home, so he's like, "What's up?
Oh yeah,
hang with me." Yeah, I was out and about. I was having a nice Sunday.
Nice.
So it's Shaq,
Sunday,
the basketball player, and personality.
Yeah, and you know, he's a marketing genius. And
I love him. I think he's one of the greatest Americans we have.
Wow, that's, you know, I think he's a great guy. Well, I don't know.
He's a cop.
Great guy. Maybe he's not nice. I don't know.
I don't know. But I've heard very recently, because I know somebody that worked with him, that he's very nice.
Okay, that's good.
He's a nice man.
He's a nice man. He's a bit of a hater. If you listen to his like sports commentary, he can be a bit of a hater. But you know, maybe that critical take is what society needs. You know, but he's certainly not a hater of big business. And so I'd imagine, working.
No, he loves commerce.
Yeah, he's got to be. You know, I think he's really good at it. I mean, that's like, I think what we know about Shaq is almost, you know, as much as a result of like his amazing marketing than just the obviously he's been dominated in basketball, but like, you know, a lot of other basketball stars have not gone on to be so like omnipresent the same way he has. Even Kobe Bryant wasn't, right?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I would imagine, just based on how time works now, I think he's probably been like a businessman / personality about as long as he was in the NBA by now. Maybe, right?
Sure. Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know, but that sounds right.
It sounds right, and if it's not, it's close.
Yeah.
So like point is, soon he will reach a point, an apex, where he will cross over to the other side and be what he is now longer than he was in the NBA. It's more people will probably know him for that more than he was bad at free throws. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, no one talks about how he was bad at free throws anymore. It's just like, no, that's Shaq. You know, he owns Papa John's or whatever.
Yes, yeah. Which I know the Doughboys have covered this. They got to rename it to Papa Shaq. There's too much baggage with John.
Yeah, they can't be like, oh, I'm Shaq, I'm the new face, it's Papa John's. It's like, no one is like, oh, I love the name Papa John's. No one is like, that name, that brand recognition. Gotta hit the Papa John's after the gym or whatever. Just call it Papa Shaq's. All your problems are instantly solved. It's now confusing, you know?
Yes, and you're going to tell me someone's going to not want to go to a place called Papa Shaq's? I'm ordering from Papa Shaq's every week if they change it to Papa Shaq's. I love that name. That's good.
Yeah, they already got the Shaq-a-roni pizza, you know, but you order that from Papa John's? That doesn't make any sense.
No. It's bad. And see, this is what he's good at, right? He needs to get in there and be like, you got to change the name. Yeah. Because he's the only one with business sense, it sounds like, this guy.
He really is. And I mean, you know, it's a reality of pro sports that you can't be in pro sports forever. It's like you kind of have a time limit. And it seems like a lot of people don't think too hard about like what comes next, you know, but it's it seems like, I mean, certainly, you know, I don't know how much money they make and maybe it's not that big of a deal and you could just be like, I'm going to retire forever or whatever. But it seems like you really should think about that. And that just seems like a true, you know, thing that he did. It's smart, it's good. I don't know,
because I guess you hear about all these like young athletes getting out of the league early and then not having like any money, because any young person who's given like, I don't know, millions of dollars very quickly is probably not going to do the smartest things with it, right? Like, if you got that much money, if you gave me that much money right now, I'm buying the stupidest shit you've ever heard. Like, I'm just like, oh great, like, I have all this money now. I can buy whatever I want. I spent a lot of it and I still have a lot of it? Okay, I guess I'll buy something stupid. Like, I'll buy a boat or whatever. But so it must be hard, but it sounds like he had a good, from what I understand, he had a good support system. He had a good stepdad who probably helped him out, I think. He's very fond. Yeah, I think he is very fond of his stepdad, I think.
That makes sense. Me too. I love his stepdad.
I love him too.
That's something we all share, I think.
Yeah. We love this guy.
Yeah, but you know.
But yeah, I love Halloween.
He could put more into Shacktoberfest, though, I think. You know, or maybe that's the smart move, is to not put more money. Who knows?
Do you know if this was like the first one, or if it was like it's something he's been doing? Because if it's the first one, I'll give him a little grace.
Yeah, I do not know. That should have been something I researched. I was really into Shacktoberfest for a period. And so that seems like the kind of thing I would want to look up. But there's been billboards, you know, I don't know if you've seen them, but like in North Hollywood, even in Pasadena and stuff, I've seen a couple billboards around, and it's very strange. So it's like, I feel like I would have seen them last year, or maybe they didn't buy billboards last year. I don't know. But so, yeah, I'm not super aware. But
I wish I would have seen a billboard for this, because I would have wanted to go just based on this cartoon image of Shaq, who has bone hands, who's holding a sort of like skeleton scepter of some kind, and a pumpkin.
Yeah, and I mentioned the inflatable. That's what the inflatable is depicting. It's the kind of Dracula cloaked Shaq with the two items in hand, and you walk through that to enter Shacktoberfest. And it was like a cheap thing, but it was cool. I went with a big group of friends, and it was just fun to, like, you know, go around and be with people. And I don't know, it was one of the first things I did post pandemic. I'm still pretty locked down with the pandemic and stuff. You know, I'm a terrified baby.
You're doing the right thing. Everybody, there's like levels to it, right? Like, there's like the people that are like sort of comfortable but aware of the risk that you're taking by going out and doing something, which is probably like where I am, and then there are the people who never gave a shit about it and are being rewarded for doing the wrong thing the whole time. Now things are open again, and now you know that the president's saying that it's over, when it's not, that hundreds of people are dying every single day.
New COVID just dropped, by the way. There's a new variant that's tearing around, and of course this one gets past the protection provided by the new boosters. So we're back to fucking square zero again.
I got boosted a couple of weeks ago, And it was because I was going on an international trip. I went to Italy.
Nice.
And let me tell you something about, I'll go ahead and just say Europe.
Sure.
Because I think it was everybody. Everybody was doing this. They love an open mouth cough in Europe. They love it. Their favorite thing. They were going crazy. Just it's gonna be hard to act this out the way I've been doing it, because it involves a full body sprint basically. There was a point I was at my hotel. And I was like, man, everyone's coughing. We're about to leave. We're about to basically start the journey home. I see this guy from across the hotel lobby. It was it felt like, sometimes in a zombie movie you see it starting before it actually starts. You'll see something weird in the background, and you're like, oh, that's weird. What's going on there? This was sort of like that, where I saw this guy in the lobby running across the lobby at a full sprint, basically, stopping halfway, and basically keeling over, coughing, bend over, just and I was just like, we have to get the fuck out of here. I was like, this is a nightmare. And then on the plane, nobody's wearing masks, so you're doing the right thing. I was wearing a mask, was very careful, my girlfriend and I were near tears for the 15-hour flight that we were on, basically, because people were just open mouth coughing, and just on an airplane.
Yeah.
It was harrowing in some spots, but the vacation was nice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a 15-hour flight is 15 hours, but I feel like even if I wasn't a big mask person, in light of all this, I'd be like, well, at least I could wear a mask on the plane. That seems out of all the places in my entire life where I might wear a mask, this seems like the number one. I'm
going to do it the rest of my life. Doesn't matter. It's very easy to do. They have them now where they're comfortable to wear, they're not all they're never uncomfortable. It's just different. You weren't used to wearing one necessarily. 3 years into this, you're used to wearing it, so you can't be like, it hurts. I can't breathe. It's not true. It's just it's just not true. Unless you do have an issue breathing. I would imagine it would make it a little more difficult.
Yeah, which all conservatives apparently have that.
All the conservatives do have this. Yeah. They don't I have a medical exemption, HIPAA, and all that.
My HIPAA.
Yeah, it's my HIPAA.
Yeah, my HIPAA's acting up.
Yeah, but I just saw here I'm on the Shacktoberfest website.
Okay.
I didn't realize it was in Long Beach. Queen Mary adjacent. That's pretty nice.
Yes. Well, and they use that because they're like, oh, maybe I could they're gonna do an event at the Queen Mary and I might be able to go on. No such luck. They're banking on you thinking that. In fact, it is closed. You're not allowed to go on.
I think they've been having some problems with the Queen Mary. I think they found that it was slowly sinking. It's having some problems. So they're either renovating it. I heard they might take it out entirely.
Yeah, last I heard, I don't know. I mean, you hear things and whatever, but I heard that they sunk it, but they didn't. It's still there. But I thought it was gone completely. I thought that they were no, there are these problems. We're just going to let it sink. And I don't know where I heard that. Obviously false.
That's so fun. Imagine they're just we just got to sink this thing. There's no way to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I guess how do you get rid of a sinking cruise ship? You got to just let it sink.
Yeah, can you tow those things? I mean, there's towboats that can tow way bigger ships, but that seems really stretching it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe get 2?
Yeah. But I wanted to go. That's one of the things I was excited about because, the Queen Mary is, legit haunted. Have you ever been there?
I have been there. It used to be... I've never done, the haunted things. I got to walk around there a little bit, and it's just, unsettling because parts of the ship are... completely empty and stuff.
Yeah.
So you're that's a little just freaky on its own. But I used to go there a lot because in college I went to Cal State Long Beach. I'm from here, from Southern California. I grew up near Long Beach, Downey, Lakewood, sort of area. And in my theater class, they would make you go see plays, and there's a little theater in the back of the Queen Mary, and it's just because you just went there. It's a little further away, but even when you live there, it's still a pain in the ass to get to.
Yeah, just the roads are very strange, and
Yes.
you go out into the ocean or whatever.
Yeah, you have to drive into the ocean. Very hard, very difficult. You have to have a special
There's
car.
no parking.
No, yeah, you just leave your car in the ocean. Hopefully it washes back up at the end of the night so you can drive home. But yeah, I used to go there and have to see plays, and which I didn't like. I was like, this is boring and it's far away. I don't like this.
And maybe not even a good venue. It's like why out of all places?
It was an interesting venue, I would say. It was just because you're like, I'm on a ship. That was like kind of the best part about it. But like, it's like it's on the back of the ship, so it's sort of like a curved room. So like it's a very steep sort of seating situation.
Oh, I would say.
Yeah. So very like they're really riding that curve. So like a very narrow sort of situation, I would say.
I did a show in a planetarium, and it was like that. Like every seat was completely. You were sitting like you could be stacked on top of the next person down. It was very severe and very honestly scary to like sit. But I wasn't sitting. I was doing the show.
So you were fine. Everybody else was doing great. Freaked out for their lives.
Yeah, but it's a good.
That's the price you pay for entertainment.
Exactly. It's weird. It's weird because I don't know. A lot of times people will be like, "Oh, let's see a show," and it's like, "Oh, it's here," and you might have never heard of it. And you show up, and it's like a planetarium, and you're like,
"That's interesting."
What? I don't know. It seems like a very interesting thing to just go like the gamble of like just showing up to a random location. And
there are places. There are certain places I would say that like if there's like a concert or something or like a show that I want to see and I don't like the venue, I won't go. Like I'm like hard pressed to go downtown. It's just too hard.
Yeah.
Like even now like Lyfts and Ubers are like hard to get.
And they're expensive now.
And they're really expensive now. And I'm just like, oh, so I have to either pay a lot, like in a parking lot, which is like, happy to do, or drive around for like a while and like hopefully I get like a perfectly timed meter situation where I'm like, hey, it ends at 8:00. I can pay for like the first hour and then it's just going to turn off. Like that's pretty good. But I just hate driving downtown in general. I just don't really, it'd have to be like something I really, really want to see to get me down there. But
yeah.
Yeah, it's usually not. Like sometimes there was one time Weezer was playing downtown or in Pomona, and I drove to Pomona. I was like, I'll drive an hour away to go see this instead of driving very close to where I live. Like I was like, I'm not doing it. Yeah.
How was parking?
I parked right outside the venue.
Hell yeah.
And like walked across one street.
Have you ever been to Dynasty Typewriter?
Yeah, I like that theater, but it's tricky to park over there. They have that parking lot adjacent right there, but I feel like it's pretty full pretty often.
Yeah. You're lucky if you can get there, and that's not even like that's cheaper than a lot of lots in the general area too.
Yeah, I think that's why it's always full.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. The elementary school parks there too. I think that's where the faculty parks.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I've never successfully parked in that lot. But I do like that theater. I used to work at the Improv over on Melrose, and the booker at the time was this man, Jamie Flam, who is the owner and operator of the Dynasty Typewriter now. He's a very nice, kind man, very funny guy.
Oh, I thought there was a story. Yeah. Sorry.
Just that I know this man, and I like him.
Yeah. I think I've met him before, and everyone at the Dynasty was really nice when we were doing Harmontown there and stuff.
Oh yeah,
but
I used to go see Harmontown. You don't know this, Spencer. I used to go see it at the back of Meltdown. So, speaking to a fan,
a fellow veteran, and those were the days.
Yeah.
So you're all over and around podcasting. What did you follow, like? And you've been a producer and stuff. What did you start as like a podcast fan? For me, I started like when I was working in the back of like a bookstore, and I just had lots of computer time, and so I was like, probably listen to podcasts. What was your kind of entry into listening to podcasts?
I feel like this is like kind of like I don't know if I've ever said this. I don't like them. No, I feel like I first became aware of podcasts in like high school, because like the internet like comedy stuff was like really like, I don't know, like taking off at that point. Like I was a freshman in high school, I think, when like Lazy Sunday came out or something, right? So like that was like the internet was like the Wild West now with like comedy and stuff. But by the time I was getting out of high school, I feel like I had heard of like the Ricky Gervais podcast and like maybe, I don't know if Maron had started yet, because I started listening to Maron in college. But I remember that was probably like my first one that I would listen to. But I remember in high school, they had made our theater nice. Like we never had a theater the entire time I was in high school. They finally opened a theater for us, and it had like a recording booth in it. And I sort of was like joking with my teacher, which is the dorky thing to be saying.
No, you should be serious.
A teacher who became my friend.
Oh,
like
cool.
this guy, I love this guy. And I was joking with him. I was like, oh, this microphone and that sound booth over there, you could probably record us talking. Let's record a podcast. So like we like recorded a podcast, like just the two of us, like talking, like after school one time. And it probably exists somewhere. I don't know where anybody could ever find it. And don't look for it, because I'm sure it's bad. And maybe, has aged poorly, maybe, who knows. But I remember like that being like a funny thing that I was like, oh, like I guess I like talking. Like I was like, I was always interested in comedy. I did improv in high school.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But I was like with comedy sports,
right,
short form improv games. But I was always interested in like that kind of stuff, and then interested in podcasts probably came from I think the first Maron I listened to was the Robin Williams one. I just love I love him, obviously, and that was my introduction to Maron, because it was probably advertised on Apple. Like I was like, oh, like what is that? Robin Williams talking for a long time? I'd like to listen to that. And then you hear your Nerdists, you hear your other stuff, and then like I probably got to Harmontown because I was a fan of Community. And I probably had listened to the commentaries, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's funny." Oh, he has a show at Meltdown. Oh, that's where Nerdist happens. Like, oh, I'm just gonna go there. So I would just hang out there. That was like, I would hang out there. I would hang out at UCB, where then I eventually worked and like performed. And I guess currently perform now that it's back. But I was always just at shows. And that was like the first time because I didn't live in the city proper. I lived like in Lakewood, and I was afraid to drive. But what got me to drive on the freeway was going to see comedy shows, like just like by myself. I would just go by myself and watch stuff. And so I remember I saw a Harmontown at the Egyptian, where like I was like, you guys. I think
probably Maron was there, right?
Maron was there, and Steve Agee was there. And I had like bought a ticket for this, and some friends and I came. But then I also had won a contest. So that was like backstage, and I was like talking with like. I mean, I probably spoke to you, maybe even. I don't remember.
I probably gave you the cold shoulder. That sounds like something I'd do.
But I remember talking with Dan a little bit. I probably talked with Aaron for a little bit. I talked with Jeff, but I talked to Maron for like a long time. And I was like, this is like strange. He would never remember this and would say I'm like, but I was like, I talked to him for a while because he had just interviewed the Mel Brooks and Carl Reiner episode had just come out, and he just talked to me about stuff they talked about not on the show. And how funny they were, and how like affirming it was that they were so funny and cool, and willing to do. And it was, I talked to him about that for forever, and I was like, "This is great. I love this." And I think, and Bobcat was there too. And so I think there was just something about it, me being backstage, that these people were like, "Oh, I'll just talk to this guy because he's backstage." He's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if I was like on the street trying to be like, so what was like Mel Brooks like? I don't know if I would have gotten the same conversation that I got. But yeah, I guess I've always just liked it, and I started working at Earwolf after I had worked at a restaurant for like a year that I didn't love. I liked the restaurant, but I didn't love getting yelled at, at 7:30 on a Friday night when we didn't have a reservation.
Sure. Yeah.
And so then I saw that Earwolf was hiring the day they posted a job. And I applied. Nice. Yeah, and I just asked everybody I knew that had a show there to tell Colin Anderson to hire me. And he roasted me when I went in to interview, and he was like, "You think you can just ask everyone who works here to vouch for you?" Like, not really like that. And he knows that I make fun of his English accent.
Sure.
But he was like...
But he does sound exactly like that.
He does sort of sound like that, for sure. Bruv, what's all this then? But no, they hired me, and they were very nice to me, and they let me learn a lot of stuff. I didn't start as a producer. I started as a production coordinator.
Oh, nice.
And then started to slowly produce stuff, became an associate producer, then producer, and now senior producer. And yeah, they've, like, I don't know. It's been great working there, and I love, like... I just like how much they let me learn while I'm there, too. It's just, like, so cool. Because I didn't have any, like, editing experience before, you know. So it's just, like, I learned a lot on the job, and I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I mean, a lot of stuff works out like that, but, you know, it seems like in modern businesses and stuff now, they want people with years of experience and stuff. But it's like, even if you work anywhere, it's like you still have to learn on the job. Like, even if you learned how to do it somewhere else, it's like you got to work through this pipeline now, and it's going to be different.
Exactly. Everything's going to be, like, a little different, and also, like, in this business, like, not every podcast is cut the same either, you know. Like, every podcast sort of has its own rhythm, has its own, like, cadence and stuff. So you wouldn't edit like a WTF the same way you would edit a Get Played. You just wouldn't do it. It just would be a different process entirely, I'm sure. But yeah, it's and I still listen to them. I still love podcasts. I love listening to them. Even ones that I have no involvement with, I listen to, and those are probably the ones that I like the most.
Right, for sure. Did you ever listen to that Kojima podcast? I tried to listen to it once, and it, like, gave me an error, and I was like, I'll come back to this later. But
I did listen to. The last one I listened to was the one with Jordan Peele.
Okay, yeah. And
I just love. I love Jordan, and I love his work. I think he's such a cool guy, and just, like, an interesting like, filmmaker,
for sure,
and an interesting talker. I feel like he doesn't do a ton of, like, long form like, interviews. But Kojima, what I loved about that episode of that show is that he seems to like to collect, like, famous people, and that was just, like, I could tell that. Well, he, like, enjoyed this conversation with Jordan so much. At the end of this episode, he said, "I can tell we're going to be really good friends." So you just met this guy, and you're ready to, like, he's going to be one of my guys.
Right. Man, imagine being one of Kojima's guys.
Yeah, it'd be sick. I would love nothing more, honestly. Like, he's, like, has, like, a 3D scan of your entire body and just puts you in video games and has somebody else voice you. Sounds great.
Yeah. You show up as a little collectible tchotchke in a video game.
I'm down. We've tried to get him on our show.
Nice.
And, like, before he even had this podcast. And now I think we are sort of afraid also to have him on, because it's just sort of like, if he doesn't like us, we'd be devastated.
That could be. Yeah.
Because you know how much he likes people? Like, he's like very, like, he makes it very aware that he likes something. If he like, didn't seem like he had fun with us, or, like, liked us at all, it would be crushing, because he seems to like everything.
Imagine if he just really likes Weicker and he doesn't like you, Heather.
I would almost buy it, honestly. I'd be like, hey, that's still a win for the trio.
Sure, yeah. That makes sense. But, you know, Heather's one of Jordan Peele's guys, kind of. In a way.
It's true.
So, you know, there might be a way for it. But I guess, now the problem is just it's too scary, right?
Now it's a little. Now that he's in podcasting, it's slightly more possible. But it is also then, like, you know, we have to then we went through all these channels. Like, I emailed their, like, like, production people and stuff, and I got back, like, a not right now, because he's working on the Death Stranding director's cut. So this was, like, before that.
Sure.
And then I was like, okay, I'll ask again, you know, when that's done, basically. And so, like, a couple months after that was done, I think I emailed again, and rightfully, he's always busy because he's always doing something.
Sure.
But I don't think he had been doing this yet. So maybe it's worth emailing him again, or the PR people at Koji Pro. But it'd be interesting. Because then you have to have a translator also. So like, I wonder how that works. Like, on a podcast,
It would definitely be really interesting no matter what.
Yeah.
It's just, would you be devastated by the end or not?
I know. I feel like either way, it's interesting, right? Like, no matter what, it's interesting.
A train wreck is interesting, right? Like,
best case scenario, we're in Death Stranding too.
Yeah, man. So, okay. So, I really like Death Stranding. And you've talked a lot about it, but
we've
I don't
done
know.
3 episodes of it, yeah.
Yeah, it's just... That game's crazy. I don't know. There was honestly the first Kojima game I ever played, other than I played a little bit of VR missions. But for whatever reason, I just never played any of the Metal Gears other than the VR missions. And then I was like, this doesn't feel like what people like about Metal Gear.
You played like the DLC.
Yeah, basically. And, there was no swapping controllers or whatever, changing of calendars. Like, so it was like, what everyone talked about, it was like, this isn't what it seems like. But it was fun. But man, Death Stranding was like, I don't know, something about it just felt really crazy and addicting. But I don't know. I just think that, like, it's just so genius and interesting. It's like a deconstruction, but like the idea that you're going to take traversal, moving, which is like such an afterthought and almost like the eating your vegetables of video games. It's like, well, we can't literally put everything in the same place, so we have to spread it out, and then you have to walk between it. And it's like, no, that's the game, and we're going to make progression and advancements, and that's going to be what's fun about the game. And then everything else is essentially just windows and stuff, and eventually shooting comes in and stuff, but that doesn't work until you've mastered walking up a hill. And I just think that's like, it's amazing. And if you explain that to someone, what, that's awful. Why would you play 100%. It? It's so good. I don't know.
And it's like the thing that critics of it hang on to the most, right? I feel like you do sort of have to approach that game with like a pretty open mind, because it is so different. Like, it's not necessarily fun on paper to be walking around, but the way they've made walking in that game, if you stick with it long enough, it is fun. It is meditative. It is it's very interesting. Something he said on that show, on his podcast, he basically was like, nobody ever likes my ideas at first, but I'm always right. And I'm just sort of like, why would anybody say no to him at this point? Like, why would anybody be like, that's not a good idea? He's proven time and time again that he knows what he's talking about. He's been saying recently that his new thing that he's working on is like a new genre. And I'm like, that's frightening to think of, like, that he's like gonna now change flip the script on us again, like what a game is.
Yeah, well, it's good he can do his own things, because I don't know, it just feels like such a refrain that I see in my life is just like, everyone's like, okay, there's this creative person, he's the new hot guy, we need to get into this person business, we got to give them what they need to succeed. And then you get them into a room and they're like, here's my idea, and then they're like, no, you can't do that. And it's like, but direct Doctor
Strange 3,
right? You're only here because you believed in me, and all of a sudden now it's not. It's also like, without creative people, you'd just be doing paperwork or like doing accounting or something. Like 100%. They only function, like, it's not like they're the creatives, but then I don't know, whatever. I don't want to be like too like negative on a rant or whatever, but it's just so weird. I don't know. I think for me, like, you were saying that like people didn't like the traversal or whatever, but like I like taking, like, I think I'm a firm believer in trying to take things on their own terms, because if it's like, oh, here's this new game, it's called freaking Sonic, and then I'm like, wait, this isn't Mario. It's like, well, no, it's Sonic. It's trying to be Sonic. It's like, you can't, you got to take it on its own terms. And I think like that game, that was the problem, is like a lot of people were like ready for something else, and then when it was not what they were delivered, they're like, but this isn't, and Breath of the Wild, I think, is the same way, whereas a lot of people reacted really negatively to like the destroying weapons and stuff. And I was like, it's not great to me. I'm not like, oh yes, I love my weapons being destroyed, but it's like, but it's worked into what the game's supposed to be, the exploration, the free world. I'm replaying Breath of the Wild, by the way, but it's like, I'm gonna take it on its own terms, and they want you to do that, so I'm working that into the flow, and when you do, it's pretty satisfying. You throw a bomb at a guy
Yeah.
and he drops his fork, and then you grab his fork and you stab him with it, and you throw the fork at him and it explodes, and then you grab someone else. You know, it's like that's
Yeah.
a pretty fun loop when you're accepting that's what the game wants you to do,
Yeah,
and not just getting
100%.
mad. You know, I don't know, whatever.
I had a hard time. It took me years to get into Breath of the Wild because I'm not a Zelda guy by nature. I haven't really played a lot of Zeldas, and so
and
when
it's very unique in terms of Zelda stuff too. Like it's
Yes.
not very Zelda-y in a lot of ways.
And so when I got my Switch, which was probably like within the launch year, not at launch, but within the launch year, and I got Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, and I flew through Mario Odyssey. I loved it because I'm used to Mario. I know what Mario does.
Oh yeah, and
But
Mario
Zelda-
Odyssey I think Mario Odyssey is better than Zelda Breath of the Wild by a pretty wide margin. Even though I really like both.
It's like certainly like more fun because it's like it's faster to get to the fun, right? Like
Yes.
whereas like in Breath of the Wild, you sort of have to like really work to get to like the fun stuff.
Yeah.
But like I only got through it, I think like last year. Like I spent time and I really just like hunkered down and was like and then like understood why it was good and was like, oh okay, I love this and I can't wait for the new
Second one.
Yeah.
I'm replaying it, like I said, and I'm enjoying it a lot less than I expected. I'm not disliking it, but something about like, the open world, when it first hits you, it's just like, Jesus, you know, and it's like, you're really exploring it, but then once you're coming back and it's like, no, I kind of know what's where. Like, even if I don't know, it's like I know that I'm expecting stuff. It like it loses a lot of the magic, and it's like I guess I got to make a lot of mushroom skewers or whatever. And it's I don't know. It feels a lot less than I expected it to be the second time. I'm still having fun, but it's just different.
Does it have New Game Plus, or is it like just like you start fresh?
I think it does. I'm not sure. I just chose to start fresh just because I don't know. You can get a house, and for whatever reason, I never got the house the first time through.
I haven't done that
the whole
either,
time. I was like, the whole time I was playing it, I was like, I just wish I could put my good swords away, and then I don't have to worry about them. And then if I'm going to fight a boss, I could go grab my good swords. And then someone's like, there's a house, and I was like, what? I was so mad.
I think I learned that there was a house, obviously years late and like 80 hours into playing the game.
Yeah,
I was like, you can do that? I didn't know, and I didn't even try because I was almost done anyway.
Yeah, and it is.
I had gotten the Master Sword by that point.
Right.
But I just started a New Game Plus on God of War 2018 because I'm excited for Ragnarok. I can't wait for Ragnarok. It's probably my favorite like game franchise. I love God of War.
Yeah.
But I started New Game Plus, and at first I was like, I'm not really gonna play this whole game again. Like I loved it. But I also got to it a little late. I got it at launch and then put it away because I was like stuck. I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I also hadn't had the. Have you played it? I don't want to spoil anything.
No, and I probably won't. The games that are like, this is just an action game, something about it is like, I kind of don't just want to do that. I'd love to watch them on streams and stuff.
Sure.
But like, it's just like, I skipped all the Batman games, and I'm sure they're really well done games. It's just something about it is like, I don't just want to do action. I have very strange kind of genres that I like. I'm also like platforming games like Mega Man.
No, that's great. Have you played Mega Man 11?
Yeah, Mega Man 11's great. Mega Man 12 is great. It's all good stuff.
Mighty
Number 9's great.
Oh god, we just did a Mighty Number 9 episode, and I was actually surprised to learn that more people like it than dislike it. It seems like, but it did seem like it was sort of critically not received well. I did not enjoy it.
I think the concept of a dash mechanic like they have in that game. Bad idea, just a bad idea. But then the execution on that is really bad. There's this game called Mighty Gunvolt, which is like a Mega Man clone, and it also has a very similar dash mechanic, and I don't like that either. But it's executed well, and so it's like, oh, I actually see the idea. Whereas in Mighty Number 9, it's like this doesn't even work. It's just I don't know.
Is there a dash in? I think there's like a sort of dash button in the new Ratchet and Clank. I really loved that game. That's a good platformer. And so far, I think one of the only PS5 exclusives still standing. I think. Because they just keep porting everything to they keep porting everything to PC. They just ported Sackboy. Sackboy's on PC now. Sackboy was a great PS5 exclusive game.
Yeah, to me, Little Big Planet was always like the kind of one of the like flagship PlayStation exclusives. So, but yeah, I was like, I don't want to get a PS5 until Final Fantasy 16 drops, and at the time I was like, well, I'm sure there'll be all these good games that are exclusive that come out, and I'll just have to I'll have to deal with it. And so far, it's like, there's really nothing.
There's really nothing. Not a ton. Returnal will be good when you get to it. Returnal is great.
Right,
roguelike shooter. But I think even that's probably coming to PC, maybe. Or I don't think it already is. Ragnarok on PS5, PS4. Not really an exclusive, you know?
Yeah, I have a PS4, so.
So you'll be able to get back to Jotunheim.
I've been meaning, you know, all of my family is like, when are you visiting? You know? I hail from Giants. This is a fact about me.
Is this true? If I remember, you're a tall man.
Yeah, when I was in high school, people used to, one guy used to call me Shrek as like a kind of bully style insult. And I was like,
a compliment now, I feel like people have come the other way on Shrek.
Yeah, but I don't even
it still sounds bad.
He was like big. Like it's not like he was a giant, he's an ogre, but like I don't think he was like necessarily the biggest guy.
No, like, he was probably like 5'10".
Yeah, or even just like 6 foot, but 6 foot's not like, you're not a giant at 6 feet.
No.
And he's certainly not a giant. He's an ogre. Those are different things.
I saw somebody, I'm 5'6", so I know that I'm slight. I'm a short king, as they say.
Sure.
I saw somebody the other day who was so tall that I felt like when I was craning my neck to look up, that it took longer than normal. Like, this was like the biggest guy I've ever seen.
It was like a slow pan up, kind of.
Yeah, like I felt like I kept going, and I think at one point I said, "Jesus Christ!" I thought there'd be a head at this point, but no, it's still shoulder.
Yeah, you're still going, huh?
Yeah. Oh,
I thought you would have stopped.
Yeah, we're not doing that anymore, dude.
Yeah, I actually really like when I see a tall person because I'm like, thank God. Yeah. Like anytime I'm not the tallest person in the room, I guess I get a bit of like, oh, I'm kind of normal, you know, like I'm not the outlier, which is interesting. This is not, you know, this is
tall talk.
Yeah, I just wanted to say like, just very strange, very strange. Don't judge me, please. Reserve judgment for this moment. I had a dream last night where there was a really tall woman that was like easily like 7'4".
I'm listening.
That I was in some sort of intimate relationship that involved her being. It's hard to explain, and then I don't want to get explicit either.
Sure.
But it involved being like a reverse centaur kind of chariot sort of thing where there was there was intimate moments combined with moving around, and there was a single wheel that I think I held, and then she was being tall. I'm sorry, but I just like I'm not going to remember it next week. It's never going to come up again. I just have to get that out of my brain just because whatever. I'm sorry.
I think it's great.
Okay,
I try to remember. My girlfriend and I try to remember our dreams in the morning. Because they're usually kind of, you know, I don't know if they're that interesting, but like, if they're of note, it's fun to share it with somebody who is supposed to care about it.
Yeah, and they don't have to be interesting to other people, but I used to smoke a lot of weed, and I would never dream when I was on weed, like, or I'd never remember, whatever. Like, I wouldn't dream, and since I've stopped, I've had a lot more dreams, and I think it's a good trade. I kind of like having crazy dreams more than I like being high in waking hours, and I feel like it's similar. Like, you're in this completely strange state of mind where you're not conscious, but it's a state of mind. It's kind of like hallucinating or something. I've never done hallucinating.
Yeah, your brain's working. Like, it's doing something. It's having a sort of, like, response to something, right?
Yeah, but I think it's good. You know, the apocalypse was also happening in that dream all around us, and it was not like it was like a MAGA apocalypse, not like a movie apocalypse. It was a very grounded apocalypse.
Sure. Oh yeah. People just like, you know what? We're doing January 6th everywhere.
Yeah, and I suppose you probably don't know this, but we actually have a segment that I want to crack into real quick, just since it's thematically appropriate. It's called News Time, and Kevin, you're in the wires. Maybe drop the music. Either way, it's fine. But it's News Time, and today in the news, the Nazis are at it again. That's what the segment is, Matt. I talk about the Nazis and what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
they're back.
we haven't. Yeah, they really are. We haven't really talked about Yeah, exactly. We haven't really talked about Kanye, but Kanye is, you know what he's doing. He got canceled,
Yikes.
but he's done a lot of damage, and people in L.A. or not, Nazis in L.A. were putting anti-Semitic signs, and in like an event in Florida, there was also people posting anti-Semitic signs. Also, Elon Musk has bought Twitter, and the Nazis are going. I saw a thing that said like the use of the N-word on Twitter has skyrocketed.
Yeah, 500%. I saw.
Yeah, 500%, which so it's
up from 500%. Like, it doesn't seem like anybody was doing anything about it before.
Yeah, it's like, so it wasn't it wasn't a priority before, but now it's just open season. And I really think it's, people are like, oh, Elon Musk didn't want Twitter. He's actually, he's going to give up and get bored of it in a week or whatever. I think it's actually really bad, really dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to like pivot to such serious matters, but these are the kind of things I rant about. But I do think it's bad. Information is a huge part of warfare, to the extent that like Fox News was this intentional political machination that happened after like the fall of Nixon or whatever.
Yeah.
I think we're still paying the costs of them making that strategic move. The left, the center, etc., have never kind of done anything about that shot across the bow, that a new frontier had opened up in this war, so to speak, and we just haven't challenged it. It's like their tanks are just rolling roughshod over all this territory, and Trump winning is the fruits of that, and
yes.
Trump winning led to all this terrible stuff that is not going to be undone anytime soon in terms of elections and stuff. If anyone can hear that, that's my doorbell. Hopefully not the Nazis coming, but
I heard what you said.
I'm listening to your podcast. but
Stop
yeah,
saying that about us.
And so, as bad as Fox News was, I think Twitter has the potential to be that same thing, and it's really bad.
Like, he's already tweeting like he responded to Hillary Clinton about the Nancy Pelosi,
which is so far beyond what I would have expected, but at the same time is in line with what I expected. It's like so far, it's so much farther.
Yeah. Just like already spreading misinformation, like conspiracy theories. Like, yeah, of course he's going to do that because he's like not a smart man. He's a weird guy who just has the voice of the internet in his ear, sort of, where he's just like, oh, like I just like regurgitate the same shit that all these fucking like conservative trolls also do. But I'm also a comedian.
Yeah, I just think it speaks to his intentions. Like, that's what he wants it to be, is a place where this stuff is happening. And I think that's really bad. And one of the reasons it's really bad is not just because we're there or whatever, but because most people who are like news figures are there. So it's like, if all of us, for instance, go to, let's just say Mastodon, like there's not a good alternative, but let's just say we did. The news people wouldn't. They'd still be there. So it'll as it gets worse, that's what they're internalizing. And I think the news already and media already internalizes and validates right-wing nonsense talking points. And they just think it's
well, yeah, they keep letting this guy go on the news and say his like anti-Semitic shit and be like, why are you saying this?
And there's never any pushback, and there's never, like, they platform the worst people and the people who lied about their election and stuff. It's just it was already bad, and I think it's going to make it worse. I think a lot of people are in denial. I don't blame them for being in denial, but that's what this segment is being very alarmist. But I don't know. I'd have to check the record books, but I don't think a lot of historical problems have resulted as a result of people like being like, I think these Nazis are worse than everyone assumes. I think it's maybe the opposite. It's usually people are like, I think these Nazis aren't so bad, and that's what causes the problem.
I think you're right.
So yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, but it just seemed like a little natural segue. I wanted to hit a little bit. But,
you got it. It's. I feel like it's. I feel everybody who isn't a Nazi should be saying very easily, hey, these Nazis are fucking bad. Like, it should be easy. It should be easy to say. Not everybody's doing it for whatever reason. Like, I see a lot of people doing it or whatever, but it seems like it'd be a lot easier to call it out than some people would make it seem, I think.
Yeah, 100%. So to make an incredibly hard pivot, so you have a podcast called Get Animate, is that correct? That's right.
Yeah, it's a spinoff of Get Played. It's on our Patreon, and that's where we really get into the weeds with some anime, but we do it like series by series, sort of. So it's not like a sort of anime grab bag. I'm new to anime, so there's just like, I sort of have like a real outsider looking in perspective. I'm starting to be able to be an insider but I haven't watched as much. We started with Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is Heather Ann Campbell's like favorite thing. Period. And I grew to really love it too. It's now important to me as well. And then we watched this new one called Licorice Recoil, which was good but very different. I'm learning that they can be different.
Yeah, so I watched Licorice Recoil on your guys' recommendation, and I would say that that's a very common type of anime where it's just, you have the main characters, you have some sort of larger kind of sustained plot, there's action, there's kind of slice of life kind of just hanging around doing fun stuff, and it's just like a season and it's like 13 episodes or so, and then it's kind of over. I mean, I think there might be a season 2, but it's just kind of the thing that a lot of modern anime is like that, and it's just like, here's the season, oh, that was fun and kind of interesting, and let's move on to the next one and stuff.
Yeah,
but I liked it on that level. Like, I don't think it's like high art.
I enjoyed it too. I thought it was just like a nice time just to watch some nice friends shoot some guns occasionally and stop a great threat. But now we're going to be watching Chainsaw Man, which is like the first like manga I've been reading. So I had never read a manga before, really. And Heather was like, you really got to check out Chainsaw Man, to both Nick and I. And we were like, okay. And then we're just like the three of us are just big Chainsaw Man heads. And we've started the series now. And we're going to be catching up to it as it airs and then recording episodes the day it drops and releasing them the day after, which is going to be challenging, but we're gonna be able to do it. And it's great so far. It's so good. It's just funny and weird and like violent and fun, and it's I don't know. It's such a cool concept. But yeah, it's sort of more like we sort of stick with one series and do that for a little bit, which is maybe, I don't know if that's like something that the patrons necessarily like, or you know what I mean, because I don't know if they want to just tune in. It might be nice because it's like, oh, I like this show, I'll tune in for this run and then bow out, which is perfectly fine. Or if it's like, oh, we're doing a bunch of things at once, people might be like, oh,
right, maybe more like how you do the video games, where you just
sort of
okay.
Sort of grab baggy sort of, but we do it this way. Maybe it's a little easier for everybody.
I think it's a good format for podcasts. Like it's easy, and it kind of lets you go like, okay, let's shoot the shit. I mean, I haven't actually listened to it. I don't have maybe I'll you know what, I'll subscribe today because I want to. It's something I like, and I like podcasts, and I like anime and stuff, and I have been watching the anime you guys watched. I haven't started Chainsaw Man yet, but I plan to. I've just heard it's really, like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of anime where bad stuff happens, and I've heard that there's bad stuff that happens in Chainsaw Man, and sometimes I'm like, I just want people to like talk about tacos or something, just a slice of life anime where everyone's in love and stuff, and it goes well. Like,
I heard I haven't gotten to this point in the manga yet, but I heard it gets pretty bleak, which is probably more the like Evangelion like speed, if that's if that's your type of thing. Sure. I will say that I think the run of Evangelion podcasts is worth listening to if people haven't heard it, not just from a subscribe to our Patreon sort of way. I do, because it's on Stitcher Premium as well. If you have Stitcher Premium, the episodes come out a month after they come out on Patreon. So do with that what you will. Make the choice that is right for you.
Sure.
But I think the podcasts were especially good because Heather cares so much about Evangelion and has watched it annually for 25 years, basically. That she just had a lot to say about it and a lot of good insight and information for us to share with us who hadn't seen it before. And then by the end, because she had talked to us so extensively about it, I felt like when we watched the movie, we were able to think about it more critically than we would have if we had just watched it without a shepherd, sort of. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the production is really interesting in the sense that, like, I don't know, you probably heard about this or talked about it on the podcast or whatever, but my understanding is that, like, he made the anime as a big kind of, in part, a big love letter to anime because his previous projects had been kind of like fan projects and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was also like an unwitting investigation of depression because he had depression and he didn't know about it until like the very end. And learning about it, he wanted to make the ending because he wanted it to not end so bleakly, and it wanted to be like, hey, there's actually hope, you can get through this and stuff. And also, just imagine like suffering an illness that you had no idea was even an illness.
Yes.
Like that's how I feel about ADD sometimes. And then you like read a comic or watch a TikTok and it's like, oh wait, that's ADD. That has a name. It just, you get this like elation and power over it that you've never had before. And like imagining it through that lens, and then the ending in light of that to me is just so cool and powerful and interesting. And then that obviously garnered such negative reaction that he was like, you know what, fuck you. Here's the movie, and go fuck yourself now. And this is what you wanted, you pieces of shit. Like, slop it up, you pigs, or
you
whatever.
Fucking
like,
pigs. It's also just really like an investigation of like, I think I said a version of this on the show, but it was sort of like, I was sort of like, he's sort of challenging the audience, being like, hey, like, why do you like this? Are you okay? Like, this, like, what about this show did you like? You might also, like, be depressed if you enjoyed some of this, which I think is good. I think it's good for artists to ask questions of the audience that might be challenging, And I think I haven't seen the new ones, the rebuilds. Heather was sort of like,
they're very different.
She was like, don't watch them. We'll watch them together maybe at some point. But they're showing them in theaters. They're showing the last one in theaters in December. And I was like, I have to go see this. I was like, I have to go see this.
Wait, they're re-showing it?
They're re-showing the third 3.0 plus 1.01 or something together.
Yeah.
Thrice Upon a Time. They're showing it in theaters. And I was like, I'm going to go. I got to go see this. I think
they're cool. Yeah. They're just so different. Like it's a different, anime does this a lot where they redo something and it's like an alternate take, and it's like that. And so it's like, it's just like a different story, and it's cool on its own terms. But if, I don't know, I guess I expected it to be kind of more building on the lore and the world, and it felt like an alternate reality or something.
Interesting.
Which again is not bad. It's just like, so I think that's it. When Heather on the podcast was talking about how she didn't like him, that's kind of was my take, is because I felt the same way. It's like, it's like, it's not what I liked about Evangelion. The first movie was, but this is like, it has the polish of like a new kind of, the polish of something that has all the cachet that Eva has built, like, up till now. But I liked it. I liked it a lot, but
lots of cachet. But every time I walk into one of these stores, these like anime stores that I see, very little to no Eva merch. Nothing. Not even a t-shirt, but it's all the new stuff. Your Mob Psycho 100s, your Jujutsu Kaisens, your Spy Family. I learned that you're not supposed to pronounce the X.
Yeah, I did too. I didn't know that before.
Oh yeah, no, I was made aware of it. Let's say, people. This is the thing about the internet. People will gladly correct you.
Well, what I've learned to do is scream at them on the internet incessantly and then block them after I've been made sure that they read my reply. And that's good. I think a lot of people like me, and no one's ever held it against me.
No, it's good. It's good. It's nice. I love to block.
I love to scream.
I won't do it if you're, being nice or normal. But if you're being a dickhead, you're blocked, baby.
Yeah, nowadays I just mute everyone. Like, it's like the first, like, not even like if someone says like a joke tag to my tweet and I'm like, that made me feel a little weird inside. Not even because it was a bad joke. It's just like, come on, that kind of reaction. I'm like, well, I'm only going to get more from this person. So I'm just muting them. And it's so like now I don't have to think about it. And so as a result, like anytime I look at my tweets, it's like there's 7 replies and I can't see any of them. I'm like, I mean, I still think this is the right move. Yeah. It's a very strange. I don't know.
There's no way I'm going to read this and like it.
Yeah, I'm just like closing off my world, which I'm sure is as bad in a lot of ways, but I don't know. I'm very reactive. Things really make me feel bad for a long period of time afterwards.
Yeah,
and
so I had to change my relationship to social media in general. I don't receive notifications for things that are from strangers.
Yeah,
I just don't get it. I turn them all off because there are a lot of people that are very nice and write nice things, but that's also negative in a way.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Yes.
You know what I mean? Because like you shouldn't be gassed up 24/7.
Yeah. I just 100.
It's like, just feedback that that's not necessary. You know, it's just like it's nice, and I appreciate when people are nice and say nice things about the work that I do, or hearing me on a podcast or something. But
candy's nice, and that doesn't mean it's good for you.
You got to brush your teeth. You got to eat a carrot every once in a while. And the carrot is not somebody being bad. It's just somebody Just normal. Somebody instead.
Yeah, exactly. Someone I think it's hard for people to understand. I'm small potatoes. I'm not a big guy, but I've been, a public figure for a while, and I think it's mostly been a negative experience. Not like the whole I would trade it for nothing, but like I think generally it's degraded me as opposed to made me better. I feel like a worse person as a result of it, and that's not just the bad; it's also the good. But like I feel like such a raw nerve in a way I didn't used to, and like part of that is. It's like, even the good interaction. I don't know. Like, I'll open my DMs and then, because for what I'm a fucking idiot. My DMs are open.
Look, we're all a little sick.
Yeah, I'm lonely, and I hold out hope that someone will like approach me and be like, "Hey, I'm a hot lady." Yeah. And then even when that's happened, it still makes me really uncomfortable. It doesn't. Yeah. So it's even though the case from that is like not good, but that's kind of why I've done it. But as a result, people can DM me and stuff, and then so sometimes I'll go through and usually don't get the message requests and stuff, and then I'll see them, and it'll just like go back a year, and I'll look at them and I'll feel like crying, and it's like it's not even anything. Like sometimes it's people saying nice things, but it's, for some reason, like this like quantified mass of people. Like I say it's like a wave of intention. Like just they have this idea like I want to tell this person they're doing a good job. I want to ask this person to be on my podcast. I want to ask this person if he could reach out to this person. I just feel like I'm just a guy. I'm not this tool for you to like operate on the world and like access other people or help you execute your will. I'm just trying to live and also, but I also want to help them, but I like can't bring myself to do it. And it's just like I self-destruct. It's a very weird thing. And I don't know if other people get that, but for me, it's just like, it's this overwhelming mass of just the existence of other people being revealed to me in a very strange way, if that makes sense.
I 100% agree. And I know exactly what you're saying. And somebody, Demi Adijuibe, put it in great terms that I was able to understand it a little better. And he said that, he said that like people on the internet don't really see you, like you, Spencer, me, Matt, as like a person, like a human being. We're a product because they hear us. There's something they want it optimized for their experience. So like I'll just say as an example, a couple of months ago, somebody DM'd me and was like, "Hey, I love your work. Thank you so much for everything you do. You say so much." Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, go fuck yourself. I was like, I don't know what you want me to do with that. You want me to change how I speak?
And then I'll get 10 cents more every 2 weeks or something like that.
I was like, I don't know what you want me to do about this.
I'm not a human.
So I'm not like a product that can be optimized for your specific experience. Mm-hmm. I'm just also a guy who
would never say that to someone.
Would just never say anything bad like that. But also, I'm trying to do as well as you are also. And, it's easy to correct somebody on the internet. It's easy to like reach out to somebody on the internet and say something a little shitty because there's a barrier But there's two, really. It's their screen and yours. Like, so it's like there's this wall that is like penetrable from their side and impenetrable from yours, because it is just sort of like, okay, well, nothing I say is gonna. I can't write them back and be like, hey, this hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? Because, like, what's that going to do? I'm not trying to start a dialogue with this person.
And regardless, they can't conceive of that. They're just insulated from the consequences. Like, they don't... And, like, when they're doing it, they're not thinking about that, because they're just like, oh, I could just type this into my computer and send it off, and maybe it'll be fine. And they don't... Like, that's the end of that thought, usually, you know? So
Yes. They're going to change. They're going to say less. I'm just going to fire this off real quick, and they're just going to do it.
And they're going to be thankful, and it's like, oh my God, this is so
They
great. I
probably
wanted
didn't
to better
know.
myself, and
Yeah.
you know, and then I just self-destruct and want to die.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard. I don't like it. If there was a way to get away to keep doing the same thing, but not, you know, have that part. Although there is, you know, I could tune out, but I don't. You know?
Yeah. No,
I'm also just addicted, so.
Yeah, no, I mute notifications, and I search my fucking at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I look to see if anybody's... Every time I do Comedy Bang Bang or something, I look at the subreddit to see if anybody's talking shit, you know?
Yeah.
Because I want to know...
Thing. Yeah, I would do Harmontown, and every time we do a Harmontown, I'd go look at the Reddit to see, like, oh, I thought I said some funny stuff. Is anyone going to comment on the fact that I said some funny stuff? It's like, first of all, no. Like, no one even pays attention. And they're like, oh, what about Dan? What about Jeff and stuff? And, like, I'm just not an afterthought. And then second of all, if it is, it's like, it's always, even if it's nice, it's something that pisses me off. So it's like, what am I doing? But I still do that. Now I check my own Reddit for this podcast and see what people are saying. And they're still never saying, like, oh, these jokes are so funny. And then even if they do, it doesn't make me feel better. Like,
no,
so it's like,
Matt was actually funny on this one. Like, that's not the compliment you think it is.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. Like, I don't know, man. Okay. So just the last quick topic. You know, we're running low on time. I just want to ask. You know, you went to Italy. Was there any crazy foods? Do you like food? Are you a food guy? I'm a big food guy.
I love food. I eat it every day, sometimes 3 times a day.
Sure.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner are usually the ones I try to hit. Occasionally a snack if I'm feeling crazy. But I do like food. I will say, when I went to Italy, I had pizza, I had pasta, because those are the things that they say to get, right?
Sure.
And I was like, I don't want to sound ungrateful. But I wasn't like blown away by the quality necessarily, right? It was like the best. I've had good pasta and pizza elsewhere also. It was like the best version of that, but every day. So I was like, oh, this is like good. I'm glad it's base level good, you know? It's all great stuff. But my favorite thing that I ate, I had 2 favorite things that I ate, actually, I'll tell you about. There was this sandwich place in Florence that I wish, what was it called? Oh, Fratinelli, I think.
Okay. There's a TikTok place. Well, they got banned, but there was a TikTok place that was a sandwich place in Florence that I want to go to.
There was this. Okay, so it was a sandwich place in Florence that's in an alley. It's been there since 1875, and it was heaven. It was so good. The bread was great. The like cured meats were great. You know, it was great. It was just perfect. I loved it. That was one of my favorite things I ate there. It was just like a piece of like cured meat between bread with some pecorino cheese and arugula. Man. And I was like, this is just perfect. Yeah. Nothing better than this. Then also in Florence, they have like a steak that they're famous for called the Florentine steak. And it's like served, it's basically like a huge steak that you have to share. And, you know, I could eat a big steak, but they're like, you have to share this thing. It's fucking huge.
I'm thinking, like, I'm not going to share it.
Yeah. No, if I hear big steak, I'm like, gimme.
Yeah.
They're like, you don't understand. This is like Fred Flintstone size, like tip your car over big.
Sure.
And I was like, okay, that's all right. They didn't say that, but, you know, they could have. If they were funny like me, they would have said it. And so we got the steak to share it, and they were like, but they kept checking. You sure you guys want this?
Oh, my
and
God.
everybody's been saying to get this because it's like such a it's a treat, but it's because it's served so raw, so rare that it's like still like dark red. It's like red. I mean, I like a rarer cut of meat. Like I like a rare steak.
Yeah, that's what they call like blue rare or something, right?
Yes.
Something like
Yeah, I learned this today, actually. So you saying this, it's true. That's correct.
that. Thank you.
And so we got it, and they were like, "Are you sure? You guys don't want us to cook it for a little longer?" We're like, "No, just give it to us the way you want it." And so we got it, and it was so good. It was
good.
It was perfect. It was fantastic. We really.
I was kind of worried that it was like maybe it was going to be too raw.
Yeah.
Howdy.
That's my girlfriend.
Awesome.
But yeah, it was fantastic. No, it was it was I don't know. I like rare meat though,
Yeah.
When it's supposed to be, I would not eat chicken rare.
What?
Come on. This guy's a stickler over here.
I won't do it. I'm not trying to get salmonella or nothing.
I don't want to impose my values onto you, so I think that's okay.
Okay, I know that. Yeah, this guy's taking a bite out of a raw chicken breast. No, but I know that in other countries you can do it, but here you can't because we pump our chicken with bad stuff.
We pump our chicken full of filth. Like we just have this big pipe of filth that we plug up a chicken to. But yeah, I don't know. See, I like a rare steak, but I also the best part of the steak is like the crust, like the char with the salt
grizzle
on it and stuff.
Yeah.
And it feels like if you get something rare enough, unless it's like a really nice place, they don't get that char. So it's like a real kind of Solomon's choice. I don't know. Sophie's choice. I don't know. Where it's like, because I think I'd rather have something less rare if I can guarantee that like really nice crust.
Mm-hmm.
But
I know what you mean. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I definitely.
This had it all. Let me tell you, it was great.
Man, that sounds so good. Mm-hmm. Well, thanks, man. I don't know. We talked about some of your stuff, but you got anything to plug? You want to talk about podcast or Twitch or I don't know.
Yeah, we've been streaming a little
Twitter.
more on the Get Played Twitch account, twitch.tv/getplayedpod. So Nick and I have been streaming more because we're the ones that have, I guess, time to do that. Heather's busier than both of us combined, I think.
Sure, yeah.
But maybe she'll be there someday. Mm-hmm. We'd like to get her on a stream.
Yeah.
And then check out, Get Played. We just did an episode on Vampire Survivors, which, oh boy, I love that game. And yeah, check out Get Animate on patreon.com/getplayed. And then that's it. There'll probably be another What's With These Homies Talking About Weezer episode coming out around the start of winter when they drop their winter EP. But until then, radio silence.
All right. Well, sometimes, radio silence is good,
Yeah. And thanks for having me, man. I love talking with you.
Yeah, man, this was really fun. We got to have you back sometime.
Please.
I technically have a co-host named Jeff, but
yes.
Let's be real. I don't really have a co-host named Jeff. I kind of his pictures and if you're listening to this, Jeff, which you're not, but if you listen to this, I love you. I wish you would come back. Come back to me, Jeff. I don't know. I'm on Twitch. Everything's the Sixler at the Sixler, twitch.tv/the Sixler, patreon.com/the Sixler. But just do whatever. It's fine. I'm just glad. I want really. My plug is for you guys listening to this. I just want you to have a good life.
Wow, that's nice. Yeah,
yeah. So go out.
And pray to God, people don't just have the ability to reach out to you whenever they want.
Yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy, and take it from Matt. He's gone viral on Twitter before. It's not.
Oh boy,
it's not good. It's not what you want it. You think it's going to be all candy and roses, but there's nothing good. It's all bad. Just enjoy it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Enjoy it.
And we like to end the podcast the same way as we do every week, and so this week, as always, enjoy it. That's all. Kevin, cut. Kevin, cut. Okay.
Kevin, could you put stuff in to make me sound good? Thanks.
Okay. Well, do what he said, but then cut. Okay, Kevin.
Scarpins Avenue.